Hi everybody, my name is Mani and I work with the Favio product team. Today I will walk you through the features of Favio Service Desk so that viewers can get a clear understanding of the available features and how they can benefit you and your team. Favio Service Desk is an IT service management and ticketing software that helps organizations to manage their internal IT support operations in one place. For example, if someone in your office faces issues like laptop is not working or a particular software installation needed, they can create a ticket in Favio Service Desk. The IT team then receives the ticket, assigns it to the right person, track its progress, and resolves it within the SLA time. Now let's see how to do this step by step. Click on the plus icon to create a new asset. So this is where you enter all the important details related to an asset in the system. First, enter the name of the asset, then add the identifier. It is a unique ID or code used to identify this particular asset. Then select the asset type to define its category, such as hardware, software, or a network device. Here we have chosen laptop under the asset type. Choose the impact type to indicate the level of importance, such as high, normal, or low. And set the asset status to show its current condition, like in use, available, or under maintenance. You can choose from the drop-down menu. You can upload an asset image for easy visual identification and use the description box to add a short note or details about the asset. If applicable, enter the end of life date to track when the asset is expected to be retired. The next two sections, these are used to link the asset to the right team, person, product, and financial details so it can be tracked properly throughout its life cycle. Under the assignment section, here you can define department, organization, location. The managed by field is used to define the person who is responsible for maintaining the system, this particular asset. And used by field is used to define the person who is currently using this asset. You can also link the related product and vendor details. Enter the financial details such as purchase cost, salvage value, and depreciation to monitor the asset's value over time. Here you can define the usage type, whether you need it as a permanent or loaner, warranty expiry date, and other specifications about your hardware properties. Once all the information have been entered, click on the submit icon. Here you can see that your asset has been created successfully. By default, the asset module displays all the service desk assets in the all assets view, where they are listed in chronological order. You can easily edit, delete, view, and even clone this asset, any asset you want to duplicate, and make further changes to it. To filter the asset, click on this filter icon. Here you can select the specific asset properties you want to use for filtering. For example, here I want to see how many assets this person is maintaining. Once I select it from the drop-down menu, click on the apply icon. Here it will display the list of the assets managed by this particular user. You can use reset to clear all applied filters or click cancel to return to the original asset list view page. The next one is print labels. This option allows you to preview and print the asset's identifier label. If you choose multiple, it will show the labels of all the selected items. To insert an image into the asset label, the super admin can set it up through the admin panel. Here under the QR code can define the label width, height, the space between the labels, how many labels can be displayed in each row. If you want to display the logo image, if yes, then select this option. You can insert the logo image by clicking on the choose file icon and click save. The next one is export option. Export asset details by clicking on this top right export option. Once you click on this, here you can see that the system is generating your report. You will be notified once completed. You can also schedule a report by automatically generating asset details reports at a specific time. Here you can define the time to generate report. You can check the exported file under the activity downloads. Here you can see the asset report. It will display the format, type, user and created at specific time, and you can easily download this report. You can even attach your support tickets to any of these assets and even link service requests. You can directly associate the asset with different service desk modules from here. Simply click on the associate option and choose what you want to link, such as tickets, problems, changes, releases or contracts. This helps you connect the asset with related requests, incidents or service activities for better tracking and management. You can also link the asset directly from the ticket page. But make sure that the asset already exists in the system before linking it. You must be thinking, why link records to an asset? When an asset is linked, the IT team can quickly see what issues happened on this particular device, what fixes were applied, what software changes were made, or which contract or warranty covers it, and even a release history related to this particular asset. Now let's say you want to attach a ticket to this particular asset. You can even attach multiple tickets. Click on this option, Attach Tickets. Here from the drop-down menu, you can select which ticket or n number of tickets you want to attach. So let's say a user reports that the MacBook is overheating. Now click on the Attach button. Here you can see that the ticket is attached successfully. Scroll down a little. Here under the associated tickets, when you click on this particular tab, it will display the attached ticket. By linking this ticket, the IT team can later see how many issues this laptop had or any previous complaints. This is useful for incident history tracking. Let's say you have mistakenly added the incorrect details of ticket and you want to unlink it, or you can say detach it. You can do so by clicking on this detach icon, and under the activity log, here you can see the details of all the performed action under this category. Here the attached ticket and the ticket ID along with its subject. It will also show you the exact time. You can even link problem records to find root cause. Click on Attach Problems. Let's say multiple laptops keep disconnecting from Wi-Fi. So when linked, you can track if this asset is part of a larger recurring issue. Here you can see that the problem is attached successfully. Scroll down a little. Under the Associated Problems tab, here you can see that the problem is attached. And if you want to unlink or detach it, just simply click on this icon. And even under the activity log, it will display the newly performed action. To link change request, click Attach Changes. For example, you want to upgrade operating system, antivirus installation, or RAM upgrade. You can do so, and this helps maintain a change history of this particular asset. Click on the attached button. Once it is attached, you will be notified, and scroll down a little. Under the Associated Changes tab, here you can see the linked change. Similarly, you can attach releases and contracts. Let's say you want to link software antivirus version in this particular asset. And for the contracts, you can link agreements related to this asset. For example, warranty agreements, vendor support contracts. Make sure these records are created before you link them to any particular asset. Problems are used to identify why issue keeps happening. Changes are planned updates or modifications. Releases are new version deployments. Assets are your company resources, and contracts for agreements and warranties. License for software usage rights and renewals. Together, these modules help IT teams manage the full life cycle of system. In Favio software, network discovery and the Favio agent software are mainly used to automate asset and device management in your IT environment. This feature is used to automatically scan and identify all devices connected to your network. It helps detect laptops and desktops, servers, printers, routers, and switches, and other network connected devices. Instead of adding assets manually, Favio can scan the network using different protocols to fetch device details automatically. For example, if 50 computers are connected in your office, Network Discovery can automatically list them in the asset inventory in the Favio service desk. The agent software is an app directly installed on user systems. Its purpose is to collect detailed information from each device and keep it updated in Favio. It can help track device name, operating system version, installed software, hardware details, user details, and system health check status. While Network Discovery scans devices from the network side, the agent provides more detailed device level information. Now I will explain the problem management feature in Favio Service Desk. Problem management helps reduce repeated tickets by finding the main root cause of an issue and resolving it quickly. Suppose 10 employees report that their laptops are restarting automatically. So instead of handling 10 separate tickets one by one, the support team can create one problem record and identify the actual root cause and link all those tickets to it. Once the root cause is fixed, all linked tickets can be resolved faster. This is exactly what problem management does. So to create a problem record, first click on this plus icon. For example, I am entering the subject as laptop restarting automatically. Here define the identifier as a unique code to identify this particular problem. Select the requester from the drop down menu, and for impact and priority, here I have set it to high. You can select the department from the drop down menu and assigning it to the respective agent. You can also attach the affected asset or device related to this particular issue. In the description box, I have added a short note explaining that multiple users are facing automatic restarts. You can also upload supporting files like screenshots or logs related to this issue. For example, I am selecting a photo. Now click on the submit icon. Once saved successfully, you will be redirected to the view page of this newly created problem. Here under the activity logs, it will display all the information that you have entered for this particular problem. And when you click on the associated assets, it will display the list, or you can say a particular asset or device that you have linked to this particular problem. Now move to the planning section. This is one of the most important parts. Here you can update root cause, impact, symptoms and solution. So the root cause describes the actual reason behind the problem. The impact explains how the issue is affecting users or business operations. You can mention the visible signs or issues users are experiencing under the symptoms. In solution, you can provide a permanent resolution to this particular problem. Let's say you can mention faulty RAM module causing an unexpected system crashes. Once the description is mentioned, you can also add the attachments here for a future reference and click on the update. Here click on the planning tab. You can also edit this or delete. Now let's add the description for impact. Here under the impact description, you can define multiple support team laptops restart automatically, which is affecting the work productivity. So in the same tab under the planning, it will also display the description you have mentioned for impact. Similarly, you can edit or delete it. In the symptoms, you can define the user's issues that they have been facing. Here you can see it displays the description for the symptom. Now in the solution box, here you first need to define the title of the solution and enter the description and click update. As you can see that the solution to this problem has been mentioned here. So for this particular problem, the root cause is faulty RAM module, the impact is reduced productivity, the symptom is automatic laptop restarts, and the solution has also provided as the replacement of the RAM and updating the drivers. Now let's move to the associate part where you can link multiple service requests. Since we have already attached asset while creating problem, so we don't need to attach it again, although you can attach multiple assets if you want to. To attach tickets, here you can see that the multiple tickets has been created for this particular issue. Laptop is restarting automatically, my system is restarting automatically, device getting restarts. So we can link all these 3 tickets with this particular problem. Once you added all the associate tickets, click on the attach button. And here you can see this tab, associated tickets. It will display the tickets that you have attached to this particular problem. You can also detach these tickets if you want to. Now you can also take bulk actions on associated tickets through the problem timeline. This allows you to perform bulk actions on all linked tickets at once. For example, you want to assign all tickets to one agent. You can change the ticket status, change priority, add reply, or you want to add an internal note for your internal team members. This saves a lot of time. You don't need to go on the separate ticket page and define all these information separately. Here you can see that it will display the agent that has been assigned to these tickets. So in the planning section, we have mentioned that the replacement of the faulty RAM. Now again go to this associate tab to request change. Here you can also attach the new change or the existing change request. In our case, we do have an existing change of RAM. Here you can see RAM replacement. Here you can see that the associated change has been linked successfully. You can also edit, delete, or close this particular problem. So all tickets associated with this problem will also be closed when the problem is closed. Whatever the actions you perform to this particular problem, everything will be displayed in the problem timeline. That's it for the problem management. Now let's move to the other module, change management. Now what is change management? So in the earlier example of the problem management where multiple users were facing automatic laptop restarts. So after identifying the root cause, the support team decided to replace the faulty RAM and update the system drivers. So that planned fix is handled through change management. Basically, change management helps create and manage solutions for existing problems or tickets related to a specific asset. To create a new change, click on the plus icon here. So this example explains a change management request created to fix the office Wi-Fi issue. For example, employees in the office may be facing slow internet speed, frequent disconnections, or no Wi-Fi access. To solve this problem, the IT team creates a change request to update the router or network connections. In this request, you need to add details like subject, what the change is about, such as Wi-Fi router update, the requester, the person who raised the request. You can define the identifier, which is a unique code for tracking purposes. You can define the current stage of the change like open or pending. You can define priority, how urgent the issue is. You can define the change type, whether it's urgent, major, minor, or emergency. It depends on your requirement. You can also define the team and agent who will work on the change. Here I have defined agent. You can add full details of what needs to be changed here in the description box. Also, you can choose the file for the attachment purposes. You can also view it. Once all the details have been entered, click on the submit option. And once created successfully, you will be redirected to the view page, and whatever the actions perform, it will be visible under the change timeline. We have already linked asset to it, the affected device such as the office router. Now again the same planning section like how we have done previously for the problem management. What is the reason for change? What is the impact? The rollout plan and the backout plan. So this planning section is showing the complete plan for the change request in a timeline format. It explains why the change is being made, what impact it may have, how it will be impacted, and what to do if something goes wrong. So this section shows the complete change execution plan from reason to recovery steps. Tickets initiating this change. So these are the tickets that caused the IT team to create this particular change. For example, many users raised tickets saying that Wi-Fi is not working or router disconnects frequently. So because of such tickets, the IT team decides to create a change request to update the router. Basically, these are the source tickets, you can say. Tickets caused due to this change. So these are issues that happened after the change was implemented. For example, after updating the router, some users may raise new tickets like VPN not working, network speed dropped. Basically, these are the post-change impact tickets. In our case, we are using associate and initiating ticket to this change. Wi-Fi is not working. Once the ticket has been selected from the drop-down menu, click on the attached button. Tickets attached successfully. Click on the stamp. Here it will display the information of the linked ticket. You can also detach it if you want to. The next one is apply cab. So apply cab is used to send the change request for approval before implementing the planned change. It can be your managers or senior IT members who review this change and decide whether it should be approved or not. Superadmin or authorized admin or agent, they can also create the cab from the admin panel if they have certain permissions to create it. Under the service desk module, here you can see cab. Click on this option. Here we are going to create a new cab. So here I have created a cab approval workflow for the router change where the IT manager and network lead need to review and approve the request before implementation. Under the name, here you can define the cab group responsible for approvals. Under status on approve, you can select the status the change should move to after approval. Status on deny. What will happen once the request is denied? You can enable automatic reminders for approvers. If you want to, then you can click on the yes button. So what is level 1 here? Enter the approval stage name. For example, here I have defined level 1 IT manager approval. Under the manager, you can select any or all. So if you select all, then all selected users must approve, and if you select any, then any one user can approve. Select the users who need to approve at this level, and under the user types, you can define the role of users involved in approval. For example, here you can choose department manager or team lead, or you can also choose both. You can add multiple levels, but for now we are using only level 1. Click on save. Now let's move back to the change management. Click on proceed. Here you can see that the cab is applied successfully. You can also attach multiple assets since we have already attached it in the beginning. You can use this when you want to create and link a new release record for the current change. For example, you are creating a new release for the router firmware upgrade scheduled this weekend. For existing releases, you can use the existing one that has been created earlier, so that you can link this router configuration change to the already planned network maintenance release. You can use this to create a new task for the change process. For example, you are creating a new task to update the router. For attach existing task, here you can define a task that is already created to the current change. You can use this option to quickly add predefined tasks from a template. You can select whom do you want to assign this particular change which you are creating right now. In change management, the print option is mainly used to generate a printable version of the change record. It opens a separate file or document view that you can either download as a file, usually in the PDF format. You can even change the status of this particular change which we are creating right now. And under the more option, you can edit or delete it. It depends. So here in the associated cab, when you click on this particular tab, here it will display if the approval has been granted or still in the process. Here you can see this icon, approved, right next to the agent who has approved this cab. And you cannot do any changes once the cab is applied successfully. Since we set the matcher as any, so any of these agents or the person, the user or user type, if any of the person approved it, the cab will be applied. You can also see if the person has not approved it, it will display this icon right next to his name. And when the cab is successfully enforced on the change, the status is set to approval waiting, because the cab is waiting for the approver's approver. And in the change activity log, it will also display who made the approval. For example, here change approval request has been approved by agent 1. Level 1 of the cab approval level has been approved. Whatever the actions has been performed, it will display under the change activity timeline, and all the related associated cabs, assets, even change, everything included ticket will be displayed over here. Now let's explore release management. So basically it's the process of planning, testing, scheduling and delivering new updates or changes into your live system safely. This can be software updates, new features, bug fixes, hot fixes, or even hardware or infrastructure upgrades. It's like a plant launch process for system updates. For example, if your team is releasing Helpdesk Update version 9, release management helps to plan the release date, test the update before going live, coordinate with teams, make it live safely, track the release status, and handle rollback if something goes wrong. Here in this example, enter the title or name of the release in the subject. Mention unique ID used to track the release. In the planned start date, here you can schedule date and time when the release begins. In the plan end date, you can define expected date and time when the release will be completed. Current stage of the release under the status. Priority indicates how important or urgent the release is. Under release type, you can define the type of release being performed. For example, is it for emergency, major, minor, or standard case? You can define the location as well as assets. You can list the system, devices, or resources affected by the release. Here you can give the detailed explanation of what the release includes and can also attach the file. Click on the submit button and you will be redirected to the release view page. Here click on the planning option. The build plan explains the steps followed to prepare the new version before release. For example, collecting new code changes, adding bug fixes, including new features, and creating the final update package. When you click on this, define the description here. Once it is defined, click on the update button. Click on the planning tab. Now for test plan. So this explains how the new version will be checked before going live to make sure everything works properly and no existing features are affected. For example, test version 9 by checking login, dashboard, reports, notification and system performance to ensure all features work correctly after the update. You can also attach the file if you want to and click on the update button. Similarly, you can also attach asset and change to this particular release. For example, you can attach the production server or router where the new version will be deployed. You can connect the release to the planned change record for tracking and approval. For example, you can attach the change request raised for deploying version 9 update. So attach asset links what is being updated and attach change links the approved change request for that particular update. Here you can edit, delete or even mark as completed for this particular release. And in the activity log, it will display whatever the actions are performed on this particular release. So release management is used to plan and safely. Its main purpose is to plan and safely deliver approval updates or new versions into the live environment. Now let's explore what is contract management. It is the process of managing and renewing contracts with vendors, service providers or customers. Here you can define contract name, identifier, approver, type, the contract status, contact, whom to contact for this particular contract. Here you can define contract start and end dates, approvals, costs and payments, vendor information, license details, renewal reminders, attached assets, contract status. Basically, the goal is to make sure all terms are met and renewals happen on time. It's like a digital record book for all agreements. For example, DigiLocker, which is used to store and manage important documents digitally in one place. Similarly, a company uses contract management to track its annual software license agreement, renewal dates, vendor details, and payment terms. Here you can define the name, identifier, unique contract ID used for tracking, approver, contract type, cost, status, contact, main contact person for the contract, the vendor, license type, type of license covered under the contract, contract start date, date when the contract begins, and contract end date, date when the contract expires. Here you need to define number of days before expiry to send a reminder, person or team who should receive reminders. You can attach devices, software or systems covered under the contract. Here you can give short explanation of what the contract covers. You can also add the attachment if you want to. Once all the details have been entered, click on the submit button. You will be redirected to the contract page. These options represent the life cycle of a legal or business agreement. You can use attach assets and edit to get the contract ready, reminders to make sure that you don't forget the end date, and approve or reject requests to make the final business decision. Use this delete button only if the contract was created by mistake or is no longer needed at all. Under the activity log, it will display all the actions performed on this particular contract. Here it will display the previous history. You can also check the associated assets here. Here the manager can approve this. For example, I have read the terms and I agree with the price and we are officially moving forward with this deal. Or even he or she can reject it. If the contract terms are not met, a manager clicks this to send it back to the board. Favio Service Desk also provides the reports analytics. Here from the left nav bar, you can click on reports, and under this option you can click on all reports. Scroll down a little. Here you can see Service Desk Analysis. So this gives an overall view of how the service desk is performing. It helps managers to understand service quality and improve support efficiency. Here I will give you the brief overview. The problem report helps identify repeated or recurring issues. It displays the incidents linked to the same problem, the impact, root cause, and the solution provided. The change report tracks all planned changes such as updates, patches, or configuration changes. It shows approval status, progress, success rate, and business impact. Release report keeps track of all releases such as software versions, updates, and deployments linked to tickets or changes. Asset report shows complete asset details and links them with tickets, changes, or problems. The contract report helps manage contract details like vendor name, contract type, start and end dates, and terms. Whereas the software license report tracks all software licenses including license type, expiry date, count, and usage. So reports help teams to track performance, improve service quality, and reduce recurring issues to make better decisions. I'll show you one of the reports of Service Desk. Let's start with Asset Report. Here asset reports help IT managers to easily track and monitor all IT assets in one place. It provides a clear overview of assets based on type, departments, status, location, and asset type. The report is displayed in a visual dashboard using charts like donut, pie, bar, and horizontal bar graphs. You can easily visualize it by making the data easy to understand. Superadmins and authorized agents can filter reports based on asset details, such as asset type. For example, you want to see this particular types of asset. Click on the apply option. Here you can see the asset type laptops. You can also export the report in the PDF format for future reference. You can download the report from the activity downloads from this section. The system also allows scheduled reports to be generated daily, weekly, or monthly with automatic email and in-app notifications sent to selected users. Here you can choose the interval. if you want to send it out daily, weekly or monthly. Here I'm choosing monthly basis. Here you can select when the report should be executed. Here you need to define the date of a particular month. For example, here I'm choosing, let's say, at the end of the month. Now click on the save option. Under the activity downloads as well, previously which we exported, here you can see the report and its time. You can also download this. So this feature helps teams monitor assets easily, track their trends and make better management decisions. In Favio Service Desk, super admins or authorized agent or admins, they can create this form by customizing it. So Favio Help Desk forms also support teams to capture, organize and track important ITSM information in a structured way across modules like problems, changes, assets, contracts and software licenses. Each form is designed for a specific purpose. For example, problem forms help find root causes, asset form track the asset life cycle, change forms manage approvals and risks, and release forms track system updates. Super admins or authorized admins can easily customize these forms using the drag and drop fields, single or double column layouts, and child fields to make the data more flexible and user-friendly. And if you want to learn more about Favio features and the new releases, you can always visit Favio knowledge base for the latest updates. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you found this informative and helpful.